call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin, vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
You're kidding.
No.
That is 36-year-old U.S. Air Force veteran and military intelligence officer David Grush. In an interview with News Nation, he said the U.S. government has a top-secret program and has found and retrieved wreckage of fully intact UFOs.
I thought it was totally nuts, and I thought at first I was being deceived. It was a ruse. People started confiding in me. They approached me. I have plenty of current and former senior intelligence officers that came to me, many of which I knew almost my whole career, that confided in me they were a part of a program. They named the program. I've never heard of it. And they told me, based on their oral testimony, and they provided me documents and other proof, that there was, in fact, a program that the UAP task force was not read into.
In other words, it was kept away from Grush and his task force. He has filed a whistleblower complaint saying he gave the information to Congress and the intelligence community's Inspector General. The Inspector General has called Grush's complaint urgent and credible.
If you're telling us the truth, everyone, the entire American public, has been lied to for decades.
Yeah, there's a sophisticated disinformation campaign targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
The U.S. government has acknowledged incidents with unidentified flying objects or unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs, that cannot be explained. A few years ago, the Pentagon released these aerial encounters.
Look at that thing! It's rotating.
The objects, captured on military pilot cameras and radar, defy our understanding of physics and propulsion.
My gosh! They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
But David Grush, who is highly regarded in the U.S. intelligence community, is the first official to state definitively, and now on the record, that alien life, extraterrestrials, are here.
An official intelligence representative at a high level from the US government is saying publicly, we are not alone.
We're definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we're not alone, yeah.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species of
Well,
non-human?
naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
Grush acknowledges he has not seen the photographs of the debris himself, but he insists he has spoken directly to countless military intelligence officials and has copies of their classified reports and top-secret documents. He says he is stepping forward because the military continues to hide these programs and lie about them to the public and to civilian leaders. A few years ago, President Obama, on a talk show, spoke about UFOs.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory. They did not have an easily explainable pattern.
However, Mr. Obama also added this.
That when I came into office, I asked, right? I was like, all right, is there the lab somewhere where we're keeping the alien specimens in spaceship? They did a little bit of research, and the answer was no.
And consider this. A science writer and a skeptic of the UFO claims noted to News Nation that whistleblower David Grush does not have any direct knowledge or firsthand experiences.
He's not someone who worked on any of these programs. He said he didn't see any photographs of it. He's not actually seen these things. He's talked to people. And we know there are people who think they've worked on programs. There have been people coming forward for many years. It never actually amounts to anything. And it's quite possible that people have become convinced that they're working on programs like this simply because reverse engineering programs of crashed things are actually real. And you can very easily see how people working on a program like this could come to believe that they are actually working on UFOs.
And there are real efforts to try and identify mysterious objects. However, the U.S. military keeps things so compartmentalized that most people never get the big picture because the entire investigation is classified. In any case, kudos to News Nation for how they've handled this story, and respect also to former Air Force intelligence officer David Grush. He is a courageous man who is committed to government transparency and integrity, and his efforts, including his public interview, have already had an immediate impact. The House Oversight Committee is planning hearings on the U.S. military and intelligence community's programs into UAPs and UFOs, and Grush's allegations will be center stage. By the way, at congressional hearings, witnesses are under oath, and at a recent House hearing, a witness lied about his outreach to Democrats and got demolished.
I just hear you say that you offered to come and sit with members of the majority in the last Congress?
That's correct.
You did?
Yes.
And did you ever do that?
Yes.
With who?
Mr. Moskowitz,
No.
Ms. Porter.
Mr. Moskowitz was not in Congress last Congress.
I'm talking about this Congress.
I said last Congress. You said last Congress. He asked you last Congress, did you ever meet with the majority, Chairman Thompson?
Check out that story at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.